All right, now I have I've already started my last stream by screaming mustard. So my only question is, does Paige know that her time has arrived?
I got to be honest, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
I keep seeing people say it.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume
Yeah. Okay.
it's on the new album.
So let me so I'll give you the cliff notes on it, right? It's a very good album. It's awesome. There's a lot of good shit on it. And there is some absolute banger tracks, one of which is a titular track, TV Off, which is going to likely be the a major single. It's hot. It's got a lot going on, and there's a nice little beat switch up in the middle of it with a little build up, and then it feels as if Kendrick is, for the most part, he's past the bullshit. He's doing his own thing, but there's these little hints and little references to the things that we have to acknowledge. One of which is mustard on the beat ho, and as soon as you hear that, Kendrick jumps in and screams at the top of his lungs with the deepest hatred in the world, mustard! And he holds it as the beat gets started, and then gets into the turn the TV off kind of chorus, does another verse, and then for the second time around, just in case you didn't hear him, from the depths of his soul, mustard.
So you're telling me that you think the TV Off is going to be a really popular song this year?
I think people are going to be screaming mustard in the streets, and people are going to either be confused or going, yeah!
You know what,
because yeah,
despite the fact that in the coming months you may be in fact right, and that I'm going to be seeing video after video of people in public places, pools, barbecues, clubs, parks, places of work, and just randomly on the street screaming mustard like you just did. Yeah, I don't think that's actually that popular. I think it's actually fake. I think that is a falsehood that will be perpetrated upon your eyes and ears.
Oh no, are we going to send the lawyers to stop people? Hey, stop screaming mustard. Everybody stop getting hype. All right. Let's we'll get there. We'll get there. Believe, like, it's the posts are set. We can hey, let's enjoy the traipse through the flowers, all right? It's just, to me, I'm just like, oh, the word mustard, it has stonks at an all-time high. So again, I don't know what that means for Paige, but I hope she can find a way.
So she's been listening to the album and I haven't.
Okay.
But like we're not playing it around the child.
Yeah.
Because he's at the word acquisition stage.
Okay.
And so I don't want a fucking incident. Okay.
The last thing we need is the child screaming mustard as well.
Yeah.
Followed by everything that comes afterwards.
Anything
right?
else.
Yeah. They ain't talking about nothing. I mean,
I don't think she's gotten there because she hasn't mentioned it to me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's great. It's a whole lot of fun, and there's a lot that has happened like since, and just and back and forth, but there's a level of like, obviously there's skits and bits and things where he just drops it at like 9 a.m. and then the next day just drops a video unceremoniously, just bam, it's out, here it is, right?
You're big enough, you're popular enough, you can ignore the rules of how you send things out, you can just make things a surprise.
And Kendrick Lamar, I also believe somewhere, because he could have held on or not for however long he wanted with this, I'm thinking that at least part of this was, okay, look, when I do a Super Bowl halftime show, we can't do Certified Pedophiles 6 times back to back for the entire half hour.
New songs.
Like, we're gonna get the entire stadium to say it, right?
Yeah.
But we can't push it and have it go back to back to back like the pop out. So let it go down, and maybe even a second time, right? And then let's have some new music for everybody. But it is going down. Make no mistake. You know, I think we've recovered from the absolute nuclear devastation that was Janet Jackson's nipple. You know, I never thought that we as a people would be able to rebuild after everything, all the damage that caused. But here we are. And
how's Kendrick going to get 60,000 bots into the Super Bowl to sing the song with him? Aren't people going to notice?
That is, in fact, a feat. You know, that's going to be quite a challenge. And I have seen people popping up. Black Twitter's had a lot to say, and there's been people popping up going, about half of those are me, by the way, Your Honor. All those streams, that was me. I'm responsible for at least a half of those. I admit it. I have not stopped, fucking rocking it since. And then of course there is the, hey, look, and now with your shot comes your chaser. It is the whitest thing Drake has done, is what they're calling it. Whoo! How does a man reach up through the grave dirt and grab some more and just scoop it onto himself and then lean back into the dirt?
So we talked about a lawsuit like 6 months ago. And we talked about how, one, it would be the ultimate bitch move. It would be the most, and I vividly remember saying that he would be more respected if he just shot Kendrick than if he filed a lawsuit.
I mean,
right?
So here's the bit. I ultimately think that the most embarrassing outcome of a rap beef up until now has been Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, I was about to say where he quit.
Getting just completely ousted from the genre, right? Self-imposed exile is ultimately the most embarrassing bit. You're like, damn, completely wrapped out of a career, reinvented himself successfully as, a creator of Baby's Mama music,
Sure.
Like love ballads and shit. So that has been the bar. But now you've got the brand new level that is, I am filing a lawsuit against your production company and your labels and UMG because stop making fun of me. It's getting too popular. I think you're artificially boosting, not like us. It didn't get that many hits, though. It didn't get that many plays.
So I want to be super clear because I've been reading about this all morning because this rap beef, the hatred in it I love it. I'm going to hyperfixate on it. So there's no lawsuit. That's the one thing that's actually super like being taken away. There's no lawsuit. Well, this is called a pre-action legal filing or something.
Okay.
Basically, he's forming he's taking lawyers and he's forcing people at Universal Music Group to give him depositions that he could use for a future lawsuit.
I am establishing the groundwork here to show you that I am trying to get this accomplished within good faith.
Yes.
So that when it comes to conflict later, Your Honor, I've proven that I tried to resolve this amicably.
So basically, he's forcing the people at UMG to have to talk to him to give him information for a possible lawsuit. And the claim is that UMG and Kendrick Lamar conspired to artificially inflate the popularity of Not Like Us via botting and targeted production, and that they all worked together to make sure that the song was as big as it was. Now let's ignore the fact that Kendrick just appeared with the song that appeared to be completely produced by himself in his house with his friends out of nowhere. and it showed up on his fucking YouTube channel and shit like that before it hit Spotify. Well, whatever. So the point, the somebody on the subreddit really summed it up incredibly. This is from Jag176, who found a tweet by Uno Deuce Raps. Drake, there is a song calling you a gay deadbeat pedophile who runs a sex trafficking ring with 500 million streams on Spotify. To which Drake's pre-legal response is, it doesn't have 500 million streams. And that was yesterday.
Yes.
This morning, like an hour and a half ago,
Sir,
he filed
a second plane has hit the tower.
The same pre-action legal, not quite a lawsuit, stating that Kendrick Lamar and the Universal Media Group or Music Group,
UMG, yeah,
conspired to defame him and knowingly did him harm for things they knew were false. Which, if Kendrick had in the song, Aubrey Drake Graham is a kitty toucher, and I saw him touch a kid, and he is guilty under the law, blah blah blah. Yeah, okay, maybe, because that's tough. But he said he was a creep, and he's creepy around little girls. And in Discovery, they're gonna pull up the footage of Drake making out with a 17-year-old in front of hundreds of thousands of people, going, "Yeah, that was good. I like that." And
Your Honor,
dating girls on their 18th birthday and making super good friends with a bunch of 10-year-olds on movie set.
Play it for the jury, Your Honor. Yeah, I saw like there's pics, there's like photos of like Millie Bobby Brown in like recent photo shoots, and she kind of like looks like she's like, you know, she looks very mature, like middle-aged almost, and like she skipped past like a young woman stage straight into middle-aged because of Drake, just to get away from that shit. It's crazy how like from tailor-made to bitch-made one man can be, and to then pretend like to have this energy about him, because he also went on an XQC stream and was kind of like, oh, it takes facts to take me down, not fiction and not stories or whatever, and to basically continue this idea of being unbothered and just being like, we celebrating, it's a good time, and it's like, you can't pretend he doesn't live rent free in your head till the end of time. This
is half a year later.
It's done, and like you're doing this in light of someone else releasing their own thing over here, right? That's the bit. It's like, you can't even like say that this just came out with the timing of like being, you know, unrelated or whatever. You are 1000% in your feelings, crying, mauling, like ripping apart the studio because people are celebrating and enjoying the new Kendrick album, and you can't handle it. And the same level of introspection that should have stopped you like 8 or 9 fucking steps ago can't kick in now, and the people around you that should have stopped you from filing this or thinking that this was a reasonable thing or a smart thing to do, at least for rehabilitating your image, where everyone was kind of like, all right, dude, just go disappear. You still have a career, but it's gonna be rough from here on out. Those people are not here to stop him, and he doesn't have the thing that we all see right now, which is like, you're making it so much worse. Why do you keep making it worse? You know? And all you had to do was
like the ultimate proof that he has no one who cares about him in his life.
Nothing around. No one, right? And like, again, you see the wild shit with like the type of, like all that shit with the dad stuff, and you're just like, yeah, there is nothing to just give him that little kitten paw on the hand to say stop posting. You know, because you wait until literally the day after the new album to come out and go, nah, that last song was bullshit though, right?
So, okay, hey, I don't think this has anything to do with Kendrick's new album. I think it has absolutely nothing to do with Kendrick's new album. I think it has to do with the fact that in the second week of November, Kendrick Lamar received 5 Grammy nominations for Not Like Us. And Drake received 0.
Sure.
Because it takes time to grab a lawyer and fucking build this shit up. There's no way he did that in 2 days.
You can say that, but I I'm going to respectfully disagree, because I also think that while wisely, the album is pretty much, it's not really focused on any of that shit. It's like there's overall the biggest signature of like the beef and everything has just been like the type of beats he's using. There's a not like us sound that kind of is becoming a more distinct thing to Kendrick now.
The sound that I'm going to use for a bunch of my music going forward is the Drake is a pedophile like
that type of, yeah, that harmony, you know, it kind of comes together with the potato. Right, that's gonna be a new unique identifying sound. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's kind of like when we got to the Sgt. Pepper's, kind of like, you know, when we went a little hippie with it, we kind of got experimental. We stopped doing the Ed Sullivan Show. It's like that. It's that Drake is a pedo era. You know, like we're getting into that sound. But the album leans into that, and it leans into the Black Panther album kind of track sound a bit more than the old like jazz rap kind of experimental shit, you know, which was awesome, but it's like a different thing. So that's clearly like the biggest part of it. But if you want to talk about direct, one of the tracks, as we were waiting for, as we were expecting on the album, is just called Heart Part 6, aka that last thing, that last response never happened. We just erased it from history, and we continued, and we didn't lose a beat. And now the new album, every album Kendrick releases has a track called The Heart, Part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now the new album, Heart Part 6. That's it. And the timeline is corrected. You know, we have King Crimsoned your entire response out of history.
I don't remember Drake's responses,
and that
I don't remember them.
It is a benevolence that we are wiping that memory away. It is a benevolence. It is a good thing for him that we forget that he even did that. There is mercy in this erasure.
I hope this lawsuit happens because it'll be funny. But I also hope that it happens because I am imagining a conversation between the type of person who always gets what they wants and a lawyer who is asking them a really specific question, which is, are they going to find weird shit in discovery?
I mean, okay.
And Drake will go, no.
Okay, now listen. Now hold on. In real life, probably not, probably very boring and a very non-entertaining conclusion to this legal procedure. In Fun Time world, in Awesome Timeline, the court needs to go, well, hold on a minute. If you're saying these lyrics are false, then we need to seek out proof to confirm that why were these made? Are there exhibits that we can drop objections on here to say, well, Your Honor, in fact, we have sub receipts and we don't have reasonable doubt enough to say that these things did not occur.
So, but like straight up, like, okay, so they have to find a piece of evidence, which is a guy who was working with Kendrick or Kendrick himself saying out loud, yeah, I know all that shit is fake, but I'm saying it anyway because it's funny and it'll hurt his reputation, right? So they're not gonna find that. Instead, they're, well, why did you say that about Mr. Graham?
Your Honor,
and like,
be able
to go like, bah, 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 bah.
That little face that Phoenix Wright makes when the question mark goes woo, you're like, Your Honor, why would the prosecution's client say, I expected the Epstein angle? For what reason would he have expected that angle?
Like
the judge is like, good question.
Like if it went to a court,
Edgeworth, any response?
If it went to court, we could have a New York district judge sit there and say it was reasonable for Mr. Lamar to assume that Drake was a pedophile.
Oh
Case
boy.
closed. Like,
Yeah. So it's gonna be this like fucking even and the worst part is like it doesn't matter what the outcome of these steps are. Like you've cemented it. It's over. It's done, you know? And way to just underline the overall like the feeling that is, you know, I mean, we covered a lot of it last time it came up, but it's just there is a part of this thing that is a battle for the soul of hip hop, right? Mm-hmm. It is ostensibly just the realest shit, authenticity versus production, fake, and connections and industry, plants, etc., whatever, you know, and like to then use this as your way out of sorts to try to find the legal angle to be like, no, I need to suppress them algorithmically and get the courts to pay damages for whatever, when you refuse to acknowledge that like everyone is fucking on that shit. It was the bop of the summer. You have to just feign ignorance and then create a world where no, you didn't take that damage. And again, it's very telling to see him on the recent pop up on the streams as well and kind of like be like, yeah, living my best life, nothing happened, everything's great, everything is fine. And it is an absolute train wreck inside, you know? And he did release like some experimental like stuff out in going into different genres as well, and kind of, you know, just doing whatever you can do. But I just think that like this is the point that anybody that found themselves in this situation with a half a reasonable brain would be like, oh, you just gotta lay low. You just gotta lay low and
wait for this to go away.
And like realize that the people that care about you are the people that just want to dance. And they don't give a fuck about what's actually happening or what you're saying or what's going on. They just want to hear it in the club. And you just...
Hey, wait a second. How could he be suing Kendrick for the information that he fed to Kendrick?
Oh, we set that shit up, did we? Yes.
Yeah, didn't you?
Yes.
Wasn't this all a big master plan?
Right. Of course. Yes, the grand owl plan. We put people in your fucking in your surroundings and also, right? Meanwhile, like anyway, you want to talk about just like if you're gonna go like bar for bar and go, Your Honor, aka Daddy, Mommy, he said mean things about me.
Mr. Graham, it says here that you said Kendrick Lamar viciously beats his wife in the prior song. Is that accurate?
And like literally, like where are we going with this?
That was a lot more direct.
Man,
the creepy pedophile.
Yeah, it always there's all like you just kind of take a moment to think about like how we got here. And it's just because everyone in this industry heard Kendrick drop a bar that was just going like, yo, I'm pretty fucking good. I love all y'all, but I'm coming for
I'm
you.
The best.
But and they were all like, yeah, okay, good shit. Let's see what you got. And one dude was like, oh yeah.
I really gotta say, man, like the fact that is, you are dead on. That is absolutely the beginning of this. And like, I'm the best might be the most common brag in every form of art that has ever been. I'm the greatest of all time. There is no equal. That no one can beat me in fucking whatever. Like,
it's just you're just talking. You know, you're just chirping, and then to be like, no, you're not.
I'm the dragon.
Yeah, no, everyone loves to see a child get fucking spanked like this. An adult child is getting absolutely washed. And now he has too much money to ever. It's like, okay, this is kind of the sad, depressing part, but there's a lesson that you kind of learn from Kanye, right? And it's like Kanye is just, who the fuck knows? He's in space, right? He's gone. But like the whole bit about not having anyone around you and like getting rid of anyone around you who could have talked to you about this type of thing, and like he's basically just like when you have so much money that like you can't possibly hit the bottom. There's a place you're supposed to fall and land on and go splat. But if you have enough money and success before the fall, you never really hit that bottom. So you keep sticking to the delusions because you're being kept afloat, you know?
Do you want some real fucking conspiracy nonsense about what you just said?
Oh boy.
Do you want to fucking just dig into the fucking weeds?
I mean, no, but like, what the fuck?
All right, so Drake announces a new concert with horribly overpriced tickets. I'm sure you saw that, where tickets start at $500 a seat. Drake also is a victim of what's called the Drake curse. Are you familiar with the Drake curse?
No, I do know that there's the Australia tour shit that he was talking about, but what's that?
So the Drake curse is that Drake is a prolific gambler.
Oh,
and
yes. Massive, insane debts. Can't stop.
Drake has a win rate of under 15%.
Yeah.
He is measurably worse than a coin toss. He is an anti-lock.
Yes, if he will always post his bets, and whatever he does, you do the opposite. Right, generally speaking. And his locks are like, they're always death. And the stream I was talking about that he did, where he was being salty with XQC, was I'm pretty sure it was a stream with like the stake gambling company and stuff, because he owes so much money that he has to do promotional shit for the gambling company. So yes, absolutely, this is a known thing.
So like, they're like, I don't know the math. I don't think even Aubrey knows the math, but there is a confluence of possibilities that this lawsuit is because he owes a lot of people some money.
Nah, man, Al Pacino always wanted to be Dunkachino. He enjoyed doing that role.
I don't know. He actually did seem to enjoy doing that role, like a lot.
People gotta get paid, and Drake is 1,000,000% parlaying his shit into oblivion. Make no mistake. Yes, there is a long red number right there.
I will say there's a detail that we left out earlier that most people know, but if you're not aware of, it's really important to this pre-legal action or pre-trial, whatever the fuck it's called, because he's going after UMG and Kendrick Lamar for fucking him over. Of note is that UMG is also his music label. He's suing the company that he works for. That is not going to be good
for his own future fucking
at the next time he's at the table.
Well, we'll cross that bridge after we burn it down. You know, no, it's the unraveling. It's bad decisions, and again, I mean, where I was ultimately going with the Kanye bit was just that, like, no bottom means that like you can just make worse and worse and worse decisions forever.
And you'll never hit the ground.
And all that happens is everyone is like, okay, we're just gonna go over here and what's the latest insane thing? That's cool. Like, it's just exhausting to even bother. Who knows or cares what's even going on with him anymore? And like, that's what happens. Because you can't possibly make another. There's always a worse decision you can keep making.
I remember seeing and this is not the kind of thing that I look for, but the world brought it to me. I remember seeing an interview with Kim talking about Kanye and the kids, and her describing what it's like to run damage control for your ex-husband, because like the kids are separated from dad, but he's on TV.
Yeah.
So you don't want the kids to be like, dad's an insane psycho person. So you're running damage control for a person that you won't let your and that seems fucked.
There's the public images and the money and the business part, and then there's just like, for your children's sake and like sanity.
Is dad crazy?
You know,
that seems rough.
During one of the, I mean, and yeah, I think like I think North was like rapping or part of one of the more recent events or concerts and stuff, and you're like, yeah, what are you gonna do, man? That's your dad, you know? It fucking, anyway. So all this to say that like here we are. This has gotten to the point where we're hearing these stories, and he thinks this is the right move to make, and no one's stopping him. Therefore, if for a second you think, oh, and that'll be the end of it, right? Like, it'll just the spiral continues. You know,
so
it will be years of just.
He's either going to be told to not go through with the lawsuit, or he's going to lose the lawsuit, and then that will also not be the end of it.
I mean, I'm looking forward to a point, however many years from now, where like there's like we're like 18 or 19 stories deep of just Drake flopping around, turning into a corn cob, and like when asked for comment, Kendrick is like, "Who?" Like, what?
You know what this feels like? You know that kind of guy who you knew in high school who would instigate a problem, and if someone retaliated, he would escalate it times a million.
Yeah.
Right? So like, the guy who starts a fight, and when the dude fights back, says, I'm going to get my friends to beat you up tomorrow, right? But in this situation, and in some situations, that doesn't happen because people are like, no, what are you, insane? And the dude's just going to hold on to it until his fucking dying day. Can you believe that fucking asshole fought back when I hit him?
In the old folks' home, yelling at the nurses, you know, like as the lights are closing in, still holding on to it. Yes.
That motherfucker.
You know, and you just happen to pick the one that, like, I mean, there are many rappers out there, and there's always a couple that are just like, you know, pretty serious. There's some that don't crack punchlines. This is one that refuses to smile. Kendrick, like, is so locked in at all times. There is not an ounce of levity to be found, man.
I think
hence you're rapping like you're trying to free the slaves bit, you know?
To go after a guy like that who also loves the Lord. like Kendrick loves Jesus. Oh. His armor shields him from all threats.
Crown of thorns, you know. Fucking, I can fix it though, right? Says Jimmy. Drake washing.
I can. Oh. Oh.
All right,
Curly.
All
Curly,
right.
it was up to you to tell me that girl was 14. This is your fault, Curly.
Oh, man. He can fix it. Don't worry. Don't worry. We can still be heroes.
There is a non-0% chance that someone who lives in Drake's house, just in general, is just going to come forward with just a fucking bunch of dirt or videotapes or something.
I don't know.
That man should not trust anybody in his life.
I mean, he hasn't, like, so far, like, it hasn't devolved to the, like, absolute tweet storm breakdown, you know, like the stream of conscious. We haven't hit that level yet, but that's the final breaking of, you know, the deepest barriers. When you hit terminal dogma, like, is when there's no one left or nothing left or no procedures left to take.
You know what? I'm gonna pull out my fucking phone and tell people what I think.
We're going live. We're going on live. Let's go. Oh man, yeah.
God, if Drake had come out and been like, wow, that's a really good song, it's really funny too, and then just dropped it, shit would be over. It would be done.
Silence.
It'd be a funny little hip hop thing.
Like I'm thinking about the feeling I get sometimes where I see some stupid comment go by and I'm just like, ignore it, and you're like, God, that's annoying anyway, right? And then I go like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then everyone's like, dude, just ignore it. I'm like, yeah, all right. And then I'm like, well, what do you even, like, that feeling of why do I even bother, like, and just not, like, that times infinity times a million of, like, you have to imagine each step along the way there's that, like, oh no, it's getting worse. oh no, it's all why is it getting worse? Why are people more against me? Why is it not back to the way it used to be? Why is everything not Galchester?
All facts aside, it's because Kendrick is making better music than you are. Like, facts aside, if Drake was on that beef, if Drake was putting out way better songs, it would not matter what was being said in those songs.
The one thing he had and has and was his power from the beginning was the power of the summer bop, right? It was his summer. He would always release tracks that were just instant played in the club, instant like, you know, everybody's dancing to it. Doesn't matter what's going on, doesn't matter what it says lyrically, who gives a fuck? It's just, you know,
the words put together nice and make me happy in my brain.
Yeah, it's the same. You hear it coming out the car speakers. You know, you're hearing the sound of the distortion of the glass shaking and vibration and the woofers going. You know, and that's how you listen to it. Basically, it's always been that. So yes, when something comes out that is actually more substantial and catchier, holy shit, what have you got? That's a complete disarming. Anyway, so yeah, GNX is pretty good, and that's a lot of fun. And hey, I look forward to the loud mustard ass screams that we'll be hearing from here on out. You know, I look forward to Drake sitting down to eat a hot dog and putting ketchup and relish on it, and then looking and just going, oh.